Good morning, I'm Mainly Digger, and we're doing a video about Maine again, or the people that come to Maine, transients that come to Maine and don't really understand what Maine's about. I mean, and then like they get stuck there, and they're like, "This place sucks." When it doesn't really suck, you just suck at planning. That's all. So I don't really know how to label this one. So types, I'll just go with types of Flatlanders, because that's what people come to Maine are. Flatlanders. They're outsiders. They're odd to Mainers. So we'll just go from there. Our first type is, I would call the student, the out-of-state student that comes to, I don't know, Maine and for a couple of years and they just don't leave, which is good, but they don't really change. Normally it's like a Colby College student or one of the higher, one of those liberal arts school, let's go with that, who like, they have the outside ideas of what they grew up with and no actual life experience. And they come to Maine and they're here for a couple of years and they think that's their life experience. So like what normally happens is they go into a bar and start up a conversation with the wrong person and they get shut down and they get insulted. So their view of Mainers is being shut down every time they try to talk about their politics. Or another variation, they go to a Portland college, and Portland's very liberal. And that's their idea of Maine. Like Portland is Maine to them, and that Portland is not Maine at all. I mean, it's a city in Maine, but it's not Maine. It's a different culture. It's a different texture, I guess, of Maine. Normally, like they're the hipster types who wear the LL Bean boots, drive Subarus, and talk about coffee, and that's their view of Maine. That's what they think of Maine. Our second one is the artist, which is kind of similar to the student. Maine is beautiful. Maine is a wonderful state. Maine is gorgeous, has the best ocean overlooks. Amazing. This type of person only sees that. They don't come in the winter when it's freezing cold. They come during the summer. They arrive, or their music. Portland's really big into music, and they don't see anything else. They don't plan. They just want to become an artist and live that artist dream, which is cool, but then they get stuck because they have to get a job because Maine's expensive. Normally they're from a rich family. Their family cuts them off and they're stuck in Portland or stuck in Maine. It's another group who like just view Portland as Maine and nothing else. But yeah, so they get stuck. Normally they do drugs and then they get addicted. So now they're homeless and addicted and stuck in Maine and like just have this pissy attitude towards Maine and Mainers. Our third one is the environmentalist activist. Also a student, I'd say employed. I mean, they pay their taxes, but and once again from a liberal arts college or Unity College. A lot of them come from Unity College. They go to college and they don't leave, which cool. Once again, is cool, but they don't really understand the outdoor life. Like they think they do because they have the life experience of going to college and learning from it, but they've never really actually been in the woods, or they've been, like on a supervised trip to the woods in college. But that's not the Maine woods. Like Maine woods, or a Maine woodsman is knowing like, oh, I'm lost. How do I get unlost? Or hey, not getting lost at all because you've already looked at the map. Or having an idea of where you are because you've always been there. Like that is your set of woods. That is where you've lived. and you understand the ecosystems of how the woods works. You understand like the cycle of life, I guess. I don't know. Well, these people are normally like activists too, hardcore activists, and they don't just stay in Portland. A lot of them in Portland, but like they branch out. You'll notice them because they also drive Subarus, and it's all plastered all over the car, like bumper stickers, and I won't go into that, but you'll see them from miles away. Next one is the thru hiker. You'll never see these people unless they get lost, or you'll never hear about them unless they get lost. Maine, as I said before, has the Appalachian Trail. I don't really hate these people, or I don't really dislike these people, but like they trash the trail. Like I'm not gonna generalize all the thru hikers, but they do leave a lot of trash on the trail. And like I said, you'll only hear about them when they get lost, because they always get lost. And you'll have to send like a search team out, and local law enforcement, everybody goes out and takes care of business. But like you'll only hear about them when you only see them if you're on the trail or around the trail. But like sometimes they'll get stuck in the towns. They run out of money, run out of food, don't have a place to stay. Like, I don't really have any gripes with them, but like, pick up your trash. That's all I got. The next one is the fifth one is the permanent tourist. Sorry. These are the more wealthier folks who retire in Maine or have like a home in Maine, and they usually Bath, Booth Bay, Freeport, Portland area, like on the coast. They look down on everybody else, which is not because they're wealthier, just because they don't understand how Mainers are. Like, they come to the state of Maine to retire or have a house, but they don't get out in the other communities. They stay in their community and they don't give back to anybody. Which, whatever, I'm cool with that. Just don't look down at me. Like, that's all I got. That's all I say. And if I come into your area where you live, don't be a dick. That's all I got. Number 6, drug dealers. You guys come to Maine, sell your product, because there's a market there, unfortunately, for drugs. A huge market. But what happens is, because we know what you look like, because it happens every year, because you guys come a lot during the summer and the fall, we know what to expect, or law enforcement knows what to expect. They know what to look for, and you get busted. Call it stereotyping, whatever you want, but you get busted with a whole bunch of drugs, which you go to jail, then you go to prison, you get out of prison, you go on probation or bail, and you're stuck in Maine, which is, I mean, I sure know from some working out of the jail and talking to drug dealers, y'all don't want to stay here. You don't like Maine, which is understandable, but like, don't bring the drugs, man. That's all I got. Number 7 is the Somalians. This is kind of a touchy topic in Maine, and I'm putting kitty gloves on this because it's going into politics, and like I'm not trying to do that. Somalians they don't fit in because obviously they're Muslim, which I'm not against Muslims. I've worked with Muslims. Overseas when I was deployed, like I had a good relationship with a lot of Muslim people. But it's hard to say. They stick in their communities, in their own little communities, and they don't branch out. And Mainers are nosy people. Like, without a doubt, the nosiest people I've ever met. They want to know about your community. They want to know about you. They want to know who you are. But like, Somalians don't do that. They stick to their own, which I understand. The thing I don't like, the cities that they go to, they trash. Like, without a doubt, they trash. And they bring in a lot of drugs, crime rate goes up, And those are just statistics. I'm not trying to generalize all Somalians. Those are statistics. We'll talk about Portland and Lewiston, the dirty Lou. Portland and Lewiston, before the Somalians came, they weren't the best cities, without a doubt, and you can't blame the Somalians for the crime rate for that area, because they were, but they definitely did not add to the cities at all. Lewiston got even dirtier, and everybody's like, oh my God. So like kitty gloves, I'm trying to touch that with kitty gloves. Our last one is the snowbird rich hunter, fisherman / outdoorman. I hate these people. I hate them. Because I don't hate all of them, but like the majority of them, this is what they do. They rent a cabin, or they buy a cabin, and it's their summer cabin or their like vacation cabin. They post like no trespassing signs all over the property, all over, so no one can go on there at all. No one can go on there, and they're only up there for like 3 or 4, maybe not even, however long, and you can't go on their property. And normally, like if they're wealthy, it's a huge section of property. Like I know a famous person, I won't say her name, who bought a side of a mountain, and now you can't hunt, fish, like hike on that side of a mountain. And she's only there for like 2 months out of the year, and it's an amazing property, but now you can't go on it, and she won't allow anybody on it. A lot of the popular thing to do is getting a small property, little property, posting signs all over it, and then coming up with an RV and staying there for, I don't know, maybe a month. But what happens is they leave their trash, and it drives me absolutely crazy. Because not only can you not go on that property is filled with trash. That property is trashed, and it's disgusting, and it just irks me. It just irks me. Hunters and fishers, out-of-state hunters and fishers that come up here, I have no issue with them, but they don't know the laws. They don't know the regulations. That's a good portion of them, because they've done this before. They've gone to other places. Will look up the property or look up the laws, understand the different the hunting and fishing conservation laws. They'll understand them, and I respect them for it. It's the ones that don't, who are just like, yeah, I'm here, I spent my money, I want to hunt. Do you know about this? Do you know about that? No. But it just drives me crazy. You trash the property, and then you trash on our laws, man. That, like, why do you come here if you're just gonna be a dick, I guess. Hopefully this was funny. I was trying to put a hilarious spin on it. Also that, not everything in Maine is great. We'll see how this video takes. I don't really know how this video is gonna do. Tomorrow, I cannot wait. I'm actually going detecting. I don't care if the ground's frozen. I'll take my picks. I'll take my pick and chop the ground out. Don't care at all. I need to get out. I need to go back to the Kennedy Estates and check and look for more evidence of a structure. I can't wait. I'm so excited. All right, mainly dig out.